afternoon, and thank you all so much for being here today and for inviting us to be part of this fantastic event. We're very excited to kick off the afternoon, and so we're going to dive right in. Boston is known for many things. Its world-class universities, its cultural vibrancy, and its cutting-edge innovation. But what really ties this town together is its die-hard sports culture that is embedded within its rich history. And as part of our proposal, our transformative proposal seamlessly blends the character of the Kenmore Fenway neighborhood with an immersive hoteling and retail space, while increasing the housing supply and delivering on WS Development's mission of creating places where people want to be. And without further ado, I'm excited to introduce to you, on behalf of Team 48 and Georgetown University, the Gateway to Fenway. Behind me on the slides, you'll see some key statistics for Boston. Boston continues to be one of the most dynamic and sought-after real estate markets in the country, driven by a strong housing demand, a highly educated workforce, and continued investment in transit-oriented development. The city continues to enhance the quality of life for those that work, live, and play here. The market shows resiliency across some key sectors. As of Q1 2025, the retail market boasts a 2.9% vacancy rate, making it one of the most competitive markets in the country. Demand for housing remains strong, with rental growth expected to continue to increase, and a large student population that fuels demand for off-campus housing. We have found that well-located assets near transit continue to outperform. The hospitality sector in particular also remains strong, supported by a rebound in corporate and international travel to the area, which is driving high occupancy rates in a limited supply market. Major institutions in the Fenway-Kenmore neighborhood drive economic activity. Boston University, Harvard Medical School, Simmons, and Northeastern, just to name a few. In addition, the Longwood Medical and Academic area to the south of our project also support a thriving healthcare and life science industry. Fenway Park and the Museum of Fine Arts are just two examples of the entertainment options that create consistent foot traffic year-round in this neighborhood. New retail and mixed-use projects are really shaping the next phase of growth, and the hospitality sector continues to expand, with Citizen M contributing to the area's accommodations. Large-scale projects in the pipeline will add inventory, requiring new developments to differentiate through strategic partnerships, tenant mix, or through design. Our proposal for the Gateway to Fenway will connect visitors who arrive via the Green Line at Kenmore Station through to the Fenway Corners Planned Development Area, which is a 2.1 million square foot project by WS Development that will introduce complementary retail, office, and public space, strengthening the area's commercial core.
This is an exceptional opportunity to create an enduring project with enduring value for the community and its investor base. We're going to bridge this gash through the urban framework with a project that infills most of the offered site with two towers, a hotel tower and a multifamily tower, working around a retail base and lots of green space. It will be an exciting place that will extend what's happening on both sides of the freeway currently. Go next. So I want to jump straight to the site plan here and walk you through it. So WS had a great idea of connecting through the Fenway Corners, rather their Lansdowne block project, connects the Green, Monster, and how to bring that through. And so that was put out, and we leaned into that. We're going to double down on this idea, create a path to Kenmore Square station, and really pad it around with a play park, F&B, retail, just making it a great experience to go to the game or whatever event might be there, but also if something can stand on its own. Building the platform up will be a huge expense, of course. But when we do that, we'll invest in not just the basic utilities, but we'll invest in whatever green infrastructure is able, whether it's heat recapture, gray water systems, et cetera, do that all at once. Walking you through the site plan, we did not want to bring any vehicles off of Brookline. It seemed like it was a pedestrian bike zone. Bikes are going to be a big part of this story. We're going to sprinkle blue bikes through there. What we're looking at is on Newbury, kind of sneaking in a one-way ramp up the street there. It's about 15 feet at most height you have to gain. So vehicles can go up that way and drop off either at the hotel or for shops to get to the fitness, or if you're parking in this large mechanical valet system here we're proposing. And also, this is a hotel conference, we're in the theater. Going up that ramp and turning, you get this amazing view of the classic sign, and that will be this kind of Instagram moment that is also sort of a junior anchor that pulls people along that retail path. So let me go walk you through the hotel. So a big part of our idea is this MLB experience that will be embedded into the hotel. It starts at the ground level with the, it's funny, it's cut off, the on. The on deck is what it's supposed to say. You grab a bat and you're on deck. It's on the ground level. We will have batting cages and pitching simulators and all these kinds of active spaces behind the glass that really draw you into that. In addition to all the retail, the high-value retail along the street there in the walkways. Going up, we'll put a sports book that will draw people throughout the year, not just for baseball. And then going up to the top, we've got this exciting Ted Williams skybox concept with some elevated baseball field, baseball park food, and some grandstands created inside there, stepped in the angle that you can see the field easily. And then, of course, some premium event space on the top, pulled together. Moving on to the residential, there's a huge need for residential here, and so we're going to do our part to meet part of that. That stack begins with the large parking structure that's going to soak up demand of cars that are needed, that's generated for the hotel and retail and some resi. If we have condos at the top, they'll get some deeded spaces, and then apartments can rent or not. And then we have some affordable apartments. 20% is what we're allotting here in this scenario. In between those, we have a fitness anchor with a great green deck outside facing the park that can be a semi-public park space that can be used by people. So we just think this fits really well, like a glove in the neighborhood. Just seeing it here, kind of masked out in Google Earth, it connects all these transit ideas, it hits the values for local people, and it moves on to international travel and stuff.
All right, Tim. Thank you. So as I walk you through our business plan, we're not just focusing on the infrastructure, but we're focusing on the experience. And then we want to look at, okay, how can we bring in our partnership? So we're bringing in our partnership mainly to monetize the visitor dwell time and generate revenue. And then we're going to look at how can we bring in high-profile operators. So that's, Tim touched on it, our MLB experience. And then, this is a little cut off. The development phase right here will focus on the entitlement design. We want to partner up with MBTA to see how we can streamline our permit process. And then we're going to go into the concrete deck, which is going around month 36, following the superstructure, and then pre-leasing in month 48, to support absorption by month 108. Now, this project is going to be broken up in phases, and you may ask why. We all know that it's going to help, with the timeline and bringing in revenue and activating the site early. And then if we look at the community impact, the site is going to include public open spaces, green infrastructure, and then we're going to also include new bike paths, because that has been a big thing when we're doing our research, was including the bike path and the pedestrian walkway for the community.
Great, thanks, Mike. As we look at the hospitality market specifically, Boston's rebounded quite strongly from pandemic downtime. We just recently saw occupancies rise to 77.2% last year, driven by an increase in international and corporate travel. Our vision for hospitality at the Gateway to Fenway is a dual brand strategy. We want to bring in two flags so that we can cater to both leisure and business travelers. And what we want to do is a partnership between extended stay and select service. We love the synergy that this offers the operating business and the margins it provides in addition to that kind of wide capture of potential customers and demand absorption between our business traveler and our leisure traveler. And we love the customer for select service and extended stay. To evaluate this strategy, we looked at a comp set comprised of area, select service, and extended stay competitors. Supply growth is limited. There's only a 1.3% increase in supply currently under construction. With what we could forecast as an increase in demand, we believe that entering into this market is going to be very advantageous to our proposal, but also to the city of Boston and its economic development. For underwriting against this competitive set, we underwrote an occupancy initially of 77.7% that rises to a stabilized occupancy of 80.5%. This is below the pre-pandemic average, and we underwrote all of our occupancy assumptions to 100% penetration. We believe that this is a conservative underwriting. We wrote our RevPAR to 110% of our comp set. Here is a consolidated version of our financials. As you'll see, our wide operating margins from the flexibility that the extended stay, select service, combined operations provide for us help us to comfortably meet our debt service. And finally, we did a sensitivity analysis for our hotel level returns. You'll see that a 50 basis point change in interest rates results in about a 60 basis point shift in returns in either direction. We believe that these are very strong returns that sort of speak to how enticing this development opportunity is.
And then just looking at the financial analysis, I'm going to quickly point out just the retail has a 10.52% yield on cost, followed by our residential that's going to generate a 17% leverage IRR. And then our condominiums, that's going to be 60% pre-sold, is going to generate $69 million in gross proceeds.
So on this slide, I just want to show you guys that thinking ahead in time with the expenses being so much after the construction, you can still see that we are underwriting healthy metrics based on the construction costs, time sensitivity as well, and next by our analysis on the cap rates. And here you can see the summary of the metrics, very healthy with all the underwritings that we have done on the 10%.
Thank you, team. You're out of time now. We'll move to the judges for Q&A. Good job.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're Group 95, and we're presenting Tree Line Development Project in heart of Fenway, Boston. The tree development is designed to address pressing gaps while delivering market-leading returns. Covering a 123,000 square feet lot with 850,000 buildable square footage, we're targeting combined leverage 17% of internal rate of return with total investment of $685 million, where $95 million goes into purchase of air rights. Boston market shows resilience with GDP growth of 6%, supported by a diversified job market, low unemployment rate, and expansion in key industry sectors. Population is projected to grow over the next 25 years due to city's ability to retain graduates and attract skilled workforce. Residential sector shows rising rents and limited supply, which creates affordability issues, amplified by student demand and city's young demographics. Office is still challenged, while retail is having its momentum with rising rents and negative absorption rates. Hotels are fully rebounded from the pandemic times with a record high ADR and RevPAR growth, but still tempered by supply constraints and a high cost of construction. Fenway neighborhood is under major transformation, and with the current supply of residential and life science space, our approach is to complement and balance those with uses like hotel, arts, and recreation, which we believe is currently underrepresented.
The site offers exceptional access to transit, tourism, and local institutions, ensuring consistent demand and high foot traffic. The platform costs and the complexity of securing air rights are a real challenge, but we have mitigated them through a phased approach and by drawing lessons from proven precedents like Parcel 12, we can navigate them effectively. With strong fundamentals and a limited supply of integrated multi-use destinations, we differentiate by design, by stacking hotel, student housing, and event space in a way that amplifies the experience and economics. The plan promotes synergy, community, and a thriving sharing economy. It will allocate 44% to hotel, 40% to student housing, 10% to retail, 6% to event space, and over 70,000 square feet of public space. It provides dedicated student housing for students, supports the local economy with increased housing, and boosts retail and hotel activity through visitors and events. Fenway's strong student housing demand with increased new enrollments and nearly 25,000 undergraduate beds underscores our rationale for student housing as the optimal use. The proposed 320,000 square foot development offers close to 1,000 new beds across a mix of studio to 4-bedroom units designed with market trends. The building will also include retail, parking, and amenities.
We're bringing a graduate hotel to Boston, a newly acquired Hilton lifestyle brand that celebrates university-centric neighborhoods through its unique storytelling. The president of Graduate Hotels has explicitly stated that they are seeking an opportunity in Boston. Additionally, Hilton plans to aggressively expand their lifestyle portfolio, opening 700 properties by 2028, further reinforcing brand alignment. The hotel benefits from multiple demand drivers, making it more resistant to economic fluctuations. The hotel features 430 keys, over 40,000 square feet of flexible event space, and 11,000 square feet of a rooftop pool, bar, and restaurant. Our retail and event offerings are designed to activate the site and fill clear market gaps. Experiential retail capitalizes on Fenway's high sales per square foot and growing demand for in-person experiences. Partnering with local businesses ensures authenticity and maximizing neighborhood value. The event space addresses a shortage in mid-sized venues in Boston, serving a high-demand niche.
Our development strategy includes sustainability initiatives, which aligns with Boston Climate Action Plan. We plan to address energy efficiency, waste reduction, sustainability construction, and we also prioritize wellness. Therefore, we'd like to obtain wellness in travel and tourism certification for our hotel.
Okay, now let's go to the fun part. Let's drive into the project layout. So Kmart Station, that will be somewhere here, and Brooklyn Avenue will serve as the main connectors to the project. They will drive you to the main plaza and event space. Our second building is hosting hotel and retail, both with private entrances. Hotel through Hotel Plaza, retail through Retail Plaza 1. Our third building is hosting student housing. The main entrance is through Retail Plaza 2. The main plaza is also our main connector with the future development of Fenway Corners. We aim to connect the Retail Plaza 1 to Newbury Street and hopefully Retail Plaza 2 to future developments. The vehicle access will be through Newbury Street and Brooklyn Avenue, guiding you to the drive-in for the hotel and parking for hotel and student housing. Now here you can see the relationship of our project with the city, but we'd like to highlight our main plaza that will be able to host views of Fenway Park while hosting memorable events in the bottom. And imagine this during the winter. How cool will it be to have a sledding hill in the middle of the city? So for the development part, we plan to finish project plans and permits within 2 years and start construction of hotel and student housing simultaneously. Event venue will be built last of the construction cycle, and we plan to exit 4 years after stabilization. So we believe that we're tackling Fenway key challenges like limit public space, traffic congestion, and housing shortage. This by prioritizing walkability, adding public areas, easy rental pressure through student housing, and supporting local entrepreneurs through retail. We believe that early community engagement ensures alignment with the local needs.
We selected our comp set using the 5 Ps. Aside from a 300-key Stanhope Hotel expected to open in 2027, this remains a tightly held market with few entrants. The Graduate isn't just differentiated in product, but it's entering post-recovery. An existing inventory isn't meeting guest evolving guest expectations, and is aging. With its experiential branding, university alignment, and integration into the neighborhood, the Graduate is positioned to lead in both absorption and long-term rate performance. The STR data tells a clear story. In 2020, occupancy fell to around 30%, but what followed wasn't just recovery. It was a return to pricing power. From 2021 to 2024, ADR rose 24% and RevPAR grew 21%. Boston's hotel market didn't just bounce back, it matured. The resilience strengthens our underwriting and supports a confident outlook for our hotel. The STR data not only shows when guests are coming, but also how they're coming. Weekend occupancy consistently outpaces weekdays, underscoring Boston's strength in leisure travel and signaling room to grow as business and group segments rebound. With new office and lab space coming to the area, the weekday demand is only expected to strengthen. Our hotel is well positioned to capture both the stable weekend base and the upside in returning midweek travel. It's aligned with where the market is going and not where it was. Boston continues to absorb demand faster than supply. With peak occupancy topping 90% on several days, there is clear latent demand in the market. Our hotel directly addresses that gap and, more importantly, creates its own induced demand through meeting space and broader revitalization of Fenway. By year 3, we're projecting market penetration of 104% and average rate index of 127%. We're not just participating in the market, we're outperforming the comp set and claiming our fair share of a growing market.
Now let's see the construction assumptions. So we actually analyzed different projects from the different assets that we were targeting, and we got, excluding bridge costs, air rights, development fee, and FFE, we got a construction cost per student housing at about $400 per square footage, for retail $300, for event venues $650, and for hotel $420,000 per key. So we assume a 5-year interest-only construction loan at the interest rate of SOFR plus 3.5% and 50% LTC. We also plan to refinance this loan at the end of the completion of construction. Our total uses are around $685 million, including carry costs, interest reserve, closing costs, origination fee, and development fee. Now you can see the importance of the refinance and asking for a senior loan, because in this senior loan will allow us to project to achieve higher and quicker returns during year 5, and also go to the part of a stabilization of the buildings. The senior loans we projected are around 60% and 70% LTV, depending on the asset type we are targeting, and the interest rates are around 7.5 and 8.5%, again, depending on the asset type.
By 2023, our hotel reaches stabilization and is capturing market share from its competitors. Over the 10-year hold, it delivers 22% levered IRR and a 3.7x equity multiple. It's supported by a 9% stabilized yield on cost against a 7% exit cap, with a projected valuation of $910,000 per key on a $680 cost basis. This hotel drives both performance and long-term investor upside. Together with each use, the tree line creates a diversified, well-balanced income stream. We underwrote the air rights for 20% for each component to reflect the high risk of platform development. Returns on the project level remain strong. The structure gives us strategic flexibility, allowing us to hold, refinance, or exit assets based on market conditions and performance. This framework is designed to create optionality. The tree line transforms untapped air rights into resilient, high-performing, mixed-use asset. We're bringing a 430-key hotel leading in rate and margin via unique positioning, 1,000 beds of student housing to ease pressures on the residential market, retail and event space for activation and revenue, and 70,000 square feet of green public space to connect neighborhoods. And we're doing this with strength behind the numbers. The project delivers a 17% IRR. This is a rare opportunity to create value across uses and create an enduring positive impact on the city and the neighborhood of Fenway. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jordan, and we're Team 11 from the University of Utah, also known as the team that accrued the most Delta Sky Miles to get here. We're grateful to be here. We're grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this competition. And our proposal is Pendry Hotel and Residences in Fenway, which is a premier luxury development that really captures the vibrant energy that Fenway has. So starting with the Boston market. To begin, Boston hospitality market is thriving. There's a strong RevPAR growth that's driven by increasing ADR and demand. The luxury market itself is outperforming the general market or the broader market, while a slight contraction in supply has supported rate growth. Since 2020, everybody's favorite year, ADR has rebounded from a low $257 to $302 in 2024, signaling that Boston's hospitality market is resilient. We find that there are 4 key demand drivers in the area: healthcare, higher education, sports and entertainment, and retail and dining. Institutions like Mass General Hospital, Harvard and Boston University attract travelers, visitors, while Fenway Park, TD Garden, and the new Time Out Market enhance the overall user experience and visitor appeal. Upon further analysis, we've concluded that the project's strengths include a high accommodation demand that was mentioned, a vibrant location, but challenges exist, such as high development costs and seasonal demands, such as the baseball season. However, we find opportunities in tourism, institutional partnerships, such as with Pendry, and then targeting a luxury consumer market, which we find to be a great opportunity. However, we find that economic shifts, the ones that we've talked about today, infrastructure and zoning delays remain threats. With these insights, I'd like to turn the time over to Stuart, who will present how this hotel development will be a transformative addition to Boston's luxury market.
So I'd like to give you just a quick project overview. So our hotel will include 394 rooms, 150 standard rooms, and then a nice mix of suites. Our development will also have 150 luxury branded residences, as well as 150 affordable units that will be primarily used for staff housing. We'll include 35,000 square feet of flexible resale space, as well as a signature restaurant, lobby bar, cafe, and a private member social club. We'll have a grand ballroom, as well as a full spa and fitness center, and a residential rental program with a 60-40 revenue split with the operator. In our leverage scenario at 65%, the project comes in at a $34 million NPV with an internal rate of return of 21%. But it'll also enhance the retail in the area, increase the luxury housing and affordable housing supply, as well as introduce Pendry to the Boston market. The strategy behind our development is diverse revenue streams. The integrated hotel, social club, and retail all blend together to drive diverse revenue streams. And then the sale of luxury condos will also maximize upfront cash flows. So like I said before, there's the cross-segment synergy between the different aspects of our development, as well as a consistent demand base. There's also a long-term asset growth and exit potential through the operating of the condos as well as the hotel. And we're also going for a sustainability LEED Gold certified building just to drive down operating costs. I'll now pass it to Tayo, who's going to walk through the design.
Thank you. So the concept, we moved from the access, which the site can be accessible through the east end, through the Brooklyn and the Newberry Street, which actually has vehicular access and pedestrian access from the side. So the site plan. Yeah, this is the site plan. We're looking towards the parking garage being on the east end, and then having the condos and the residential and the hotel right in the middle with the retail and the other hotel right on the west end side. This helps in like bringing people to the middle, and then we have a sky bridge that actually connect these spaces together, which actually makes it seamless. And then on top of the sky bridge, we have a very good green facade plaza at the very top, which actually helps in urban heat island reduction. These are the renderings we made for options of what the pendulum will look like, which we are trying to integrate the use of curves in the building, which actually symbolizes the autonomy of how the facade, the architectural fabric of Boston is, and then the use of glass and melters. This is the elevation, which actually shows how high and how the affordable layout would be, how the hotel development would be, and then the residential condos, luxury condos at the very top. We are looking at the timeline for this project, where we are looking at starting for the timeline to be the deck completion for 6 months, the structural framing for 3 to 7 months, the interior build up for 4 months, the landscape for 5 months, and then the lease certification after the whole project is well completed. The community integration actually helps the development in enhancing the Fenway neighborhood by supporting local businesses and residents, which actually offers vibrant public amenities and gathering spaces for the environment. This also helps in bringing plazas, economic growth, job opportunity, effectiveness of the environment, sustainability into this development.
So we'll look at the investment analysis now. We begin with our competitive set, which consists of Boston's leading 5-star hotels, carefully selected based on brand positioning, location, and guest profile alignment. These properties define benchmark for pricing, service, and guest expectations in the city's luxury hospitality market. By analyzing their performance, we gain valuable insights on how our project can remain competitive and attract high-end travelers. Next, we look at key performance metrics, ADR, occupancy, and RevPAR from 2018 to 2025. This historic and projected data illustrates market trends, including pricing power, demand and fluctuations, and recovery patterns. By understanding these numbers, we can make informed decisions about how to position our property for long-term success. Now let's examine the data more closely. After the pandemic-driven decline of 2020, where occupancy fell to around 36%, we've seen a strong rebound reaching 72% by 2023. This recovery signals restored confidence in travel and consistent demand for high-end accommodations. ADR proved even more resilient, recovering faster than occupancy. From a low of $300 in 2020, it surged past $500 in 2023, reinforcing Boston's pricing power in the luxury segment. RevPAR, driven by both occupancy and ADR growth, nearly tripled from its 2020 low, demonstrating the strength of the market and its ability to support high-end development. These trends validate the feasibility of a luxury branded property like Pendry in Fenway. By integrating branded residences and lifestyle programming, we create an offering that not only meets but exceeds the expectations of today's luxury traveler.
Let's examine the Boston supply and demand projections. Supply and demand have stayed relatively stable for the past 5, 6, 7 years, and we project that to stay the same. What this means for Pendry Fenway is that it's an opportunity to go into a market where no one's really looking right now. What this means is that we will have premium pricing and strong fundamentals will reduce risk, and the consistent demand from tourism, medical, and university sectors ensure long-term stability of this project. Let's look at some key figures for the hotel. In the first year, occupancy is projected to start at 57% and stabilize at 71% at year 3. At that point, we expect to outperform our competitive set with an occupancy index of 102. Both ADR and occupancy are projected to grow steadily, surpassing index benchmarks by year 3 as well. Additionally, revenues are forecasted to rise from year 1 through year 6. In our analysis of the overall returns of the project, we decided to assign the cost of each component of the project, forecast out 5 years of cash flows, and sell the project and repay the debt at the end of year 5. The project, as laid out, needs leverage to succeed. Without leverage, the development fails to overcome the discount rate we set with an NPV of negative $125 million. However, once you start to lever the project and take out debt, the returns begin to look a lot more attractive, with an NPV of $34 million and an IRR of 21%. We believe this project could generate higher returns as well if the decision to sell was pushed off due to the strong cash flow it produces when up and running.
In conclusion, Pendry Fenway represents a premier revenue-generating opportunity, seamlessly blending luxury hospitality, exclusive residences, curated retail, and a private social club to create a landmark mixed-use destination in Boston. By integrating Pendry residences, and premium retail and social experiences, the development not only diversifies revenue streams, but also attracts high-net-worth individuals, corporate travelers, and locals, reinforcing it as a high-value asset in the market. Through our analysis, we have reconciled the total value of the development at $850 million, further underscoring the strength of the investment. With strong market fundamentals, a high barrier to entry location, and thoughtfully curated mix of hospitality, retail, and residential offerings, Fenway's Corners and Pendry Fenway are poised to deliver sustained demand, strong financial returns, and a lasting impact on the Boston's real estate landscape. Thank you.